You're all frozen on video.
I feel like I freeze on the other person's video pretty regularly. But if you can hear me, that's what matters.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. I don't think I have much else open. All right, we're live. Hey guys, I'm Bethany Quinn. This is Quintersectional Conversation. I'm here with Michael Nasser for a, hopefully my internet doesn't crap out on me, we're going to do a beef Wellington extravaganza. So this is going to be a two-part episode where in the first part, I'm going to make some duxelles, mushroom things. And then Nasser is going to show you how to cut up and sous vide a tenderloin. And then in the second part, Nasser, who lives in my neighborhood, is going to use his flamethrower to sear the beef and then bring it over to my place, socially distanced, so that I can wrap the whole thing up into beef Wellington. So it's very exciting. I've actually never had beef Wellington. So he and I were talking about like the best food we've ever had. And he mentioned that. And I was like, yeah, we should just do a show about that. So here we are. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about, and for those of you who don't know him, Nasser is one of Nasser's great passions in life is meat. He has a smoker, a sous vide machine, at least one or two blow torches, and plus a flamethrower. And he frequently brings meat to parties, and he has left his blowtorch at my place more than one time. So we're good friends. So anyway, Nasser, take it away. Talk to us about what you're going to be doing.
3 smokers.
3 smokers. I stand corrected. That was on me. So Nasser, you want to show them what you're doing with the meat and talk all about it? Nasser, you there? Hello? Nasser? I may have lost him. I may be too frozen for him. Nasser?
Okay.
Are you there? Oh, yeah. Do you want to? We can't see what you're doing. It's pointed at your head. There you go. So yeah, you want to explain what you're doing?
Sure. Hopefully, I'm hoping that you're getting this.
I am. Yep. I see it. I can hear you. I can see you. Yes.
Yeah, you're too frozen.
Oh, sorry. Well, I can hear you and I can see you. Hang on.
Can you see video at all?
Yeah.
Or not really?
I can see. Yep. Hang on.
Yeah, you're completely frozen. You're completely frozen, and I just.
There we go.
Yeah, you're choppy, but.
I'm sure. But yeah, go ahead.
As long as you can hear me and see me. Okay, so this is this is the start of the beef Wellington right here. This is a beef tenderloin. This is basically this is what you get filet mignon from. For those of you who go to steakhouse. What? For those of you who go to steakhouses and you like filet mignon, this is what it looks like before the chef does anything to it. So I'm just going to cut away. I trimmed up most of this off camera so it didn't look too gross. So I just need to finish a little bit more trimming here. I'm just making this kind of log shaped because with beef Wellington, you either start with a single filet mignon or a tenderloin that gives you 8 filet mignons. So now there's always a dilemma of what to do with this portion right here because it's not really log shaped. So I think what I'm gonna do, and Bethany, I'm thinking this portion to this portion, as long as it's reasonably log shaped. This
Sounds
portion
good.
Of this portion should make a nice filet mignon.
Sounds good. I defer to you.
You can actually trim it up as you need to. So, take this guy off. You know, this will be real nice for like steak Diane later on. And then I got a bunch of other trimmings over here. I'm gonna make into burgers later on too.
Awesome.
This thing, you can get this. I got this whole thing untrimmed from Costco for $100.
Nice.
So it's like 10, 15 pounds. And
wow.
If you want to go to Costco and you need like a lot and you want like something, you want to treat yourself to filet mignon, and then you can put the trimmings into a food processor and make burgers later. Great burgers, great steak. Really can't go wrong. So let's see. I'm gonna cut this guy too. This will also be medallions later on. I've been meaning to experiment with like steak au poivre and steak Diane.
Nice. Yeah, steak au poivre is super easy.
I do some awesome things with filet mignon.
Nice.
Clean this up just a little bit more. You want it to be generally free from the tough bits, silver skin, and excess fat. Here we go. This is also one of my. Most people don't want to trim meats themselves, so you can buy it at Costco. They sell the trim version for like $20 a pound.
Nice.
This guy was $13 a pound, so you save quite a bit if you learn how to do this yourself. And if you're a meat enthusiast like myself, you learn how to do it yourself. This is fun. Okay, so this is a reasonably. That's a little flap right there. Let me cut that guy off. There we go. Nice steak medallion right there. Okay, so now we have our Wellington log. So we treat this. The way I like to do all steak pretty much all the time is I call it the trifecta of steak spices: salt, pepper, garlic powder. You don't really need much else. Like the stick rub, kind of unnecessary. So right here. Got some salt.
Nice. And I'm just finely dicing this mushroom.
Pepper. Nice sized piece of meat, so they want to be jealous with the seasoning.
Nice.
And garlic powder. Gotta season all sides, and since this thing is round, it's gonna be interesting.
Nice.
So a few things I like to do to get all sides, like a piece of meat like this.
Yeah, totally. So Nasser, I vaguely remember this, but I feel like your let's call it an obsession, if that's fair, with meat started when you got your sous vide cooker. Is that accurate? My internet's just completely not cooperating.
You're cutting in and out, and I caught 30% of that.
Okay, I was saying.
Yeah, internet. Huh?
Okay.
Hopefully you can see me. I have fiber, so it's like. Hey, you need fiber internet in your place.
I know.
Yeah. Not getting it anymore at all, Bethany.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking. Can you hear me? I put something in the chat.
We'll continue this season. Hopefully we're getting some of this. Oh, I can take. Okay. Never mind. All right, so I seasoned the board, so this way I can kind of roll my spice log into the board on seasonings as they drip down. Roll that guy around, get all sides. Okay. We got our seasoned Wellington, starter Wellington log. Move this guy over here.
Nice.
Clean up the tools. Okay. So now part 2. Are the things that make sous vide, the things you need for sous vide. You need a plastic bag. Ziploc bag works. Preferably, you want something a little bit more like, light washing yourself.
Nice.
So I have a vacuum sealer and food safe bags. Ziploc bags work well. They're basically, you want to put your meat, preferably in a vacuum sealed bag, at the very least into a Ziploc bag. And you'll see why when I take this over to the actual water bath. So, my bag to size, so measure it out. Yeah, that's plenty. Didn't mention this, but if you like to make meats and cut meats, sharp knives are crucial. I have a whetstone for this very purpose. Best way to sharpen knives with it. Now, seal one end.
Nice.
Prep the bag to receive the meat. Shove the meat in here. And vacuum seal the meat. Do it twice just to make sure that nothing bursts. And here is our Wellington log prepped, our tenderloin prepped and ready to be submitted.
Nice. Awesome.
How you doing over there, Bethany?
I'm good. I'm mostly just chopping up mushrooms for the duxelles. And then I'm actually, instead of doing it the way that the recipe says, I'm just going to do it the way that I usually do mushrooms, which is with, sherry and a little bit of soy sauce and some garlic and onions. So yeah. You still there? Can you hear me?
Mm.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just.
What were you gonna say?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I can hear you. And about your question about when I first became a meat enthusiast.
Yes.
Yeah, it was long before I got a sous vide. Some old friends of mine from my college days, we're talking like 2003, 2005. They were saying I cooked fantastic steaks then.
Cool.
Just because I've just been a lifelong lover of home meats. But it's just since in the past few years, once I discovered my sous vide, that kind of reignited my passions. And so then I went into buying smokers, barbecues. And so now, like yesterday, as part of my quarantine, as part of my COVID, my quarantine hobby, I bought a brisket at Costco and barbecued it for like 9 hours.
Wow.
Because
nice.
You can do a 9-hour cook these days and from home while you're working. So, and then you got dinner, delicious brisket dinner.
Nice.
For once a day's done.
It's like a revival of housewife culture.
Yep.
All right. Okay, we're gonna see.
So, all right. Last thing we're gonna do. So this tenderloin is going in this water bath.
Cool.
Now I don't know if you can see the kitchen over there, but
we can.
I've set the temperature to 129. Currently, it's only at 111, but it's reasonably long enough cooked, and that's a decent temperature. So we just take this bag, put it into this water, put this lid back on, and leave it there for about 2-3 hours. One thing, just in case the meat floats, I like to put weight on it. Just this way it doesn't float back up to the surface. There we go. And that's that.
Nice.
So the idea behind this technique, for those who don't know, you have this vat of water heated to a specific temperature. Because whenever you go, or just as a little education thing, whenever you go to a steakhouse and you ask for medium rare, medium, what is it? Rare, medium rare, medium well, and why the fuck would you go above that? I get chicken. Yes, I'm one of those assholes. So, all that is a temperature. The chef cooks it to a temperature within like a 5-degree range, right? Rare is 120 degrees. Medium rare is about 130, and then it kind of goes up from 10 degrees from there. So with this, you set your water to a specific temperature. In this case, 129. That's my preference for medium rare, and you are guaranteed medium rare at that temperature. If you overcook steak, like some people do, like my mother does. Hi, Mom, she's watching. It's perfect for you. This is when you can guarantee that you are not going to overcook your possibly very expensive steak. Right? Yeah. You buy a steak for like $13 a pound. You don't want to overcook it. So that is sous vide.
Nice. And then, do you want to talk about, while we're here, can you talk about, you want to talk about the meat extravaganza that you did, and then your birthday? Speaking of your love of meat.
Oh, the meat extravaganza for my birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I can go get. Actually, let me go get some props because I
go for
demonstrate.
It. Sure. All right. So I've got right here. I am chopping up some garlic and onion, and then I'm just going to saute that, or braise that technically. A bit of butter with the mushrooms, and then add some of the cream sherry that I have left. All right. Got your props?
Can you still see me?
I can still see you.
Yeah?
Yep. You're good.
Because you're frozen, Bethany. I can't see you.
Sorry. Yeah, you're good. I can see you.
All right, so meat extravaganza.
Yep.
Meat extravaganza. So for my birthday, I've always been a proponent of the old saying, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. All right, so for my birthday, my birthday proper, I had two, one for like everyone and one for like just a select group of like my closest people. The closest one was at a barbecue joint near me because actually around the corner from Bethany because I would like let someone else cook. This one I did myself because I wanted the best of the best. So as from cheapest crap to most expensive stuff, I did homemade pastrami. You get a brisket, you cure it, and you make pastrami.
The poor pastrami didn't really have any chance. Anyway.
And the second thing I did was picanha. If you're not familiar with picanha, it's a Brazilian cut of meat that is, it comes from the sirloin portion, but people sell sirloin for like $6 a pound. Now butchers in the U.S. have discovered how prized it is, and so picanha is like $10 a pound. It's a much nicer piece of meat. And I got that from called Wagyu, it's a specific breed of cow from Australia. And it has, according to the, basically there's a quality of steak you get rated 1 to 12 in terms of how much fat, intramuscular fat the steak has, which is where the flavor comes from. And prime steak is like a 4. This steak was a 7 or an 8. Now, and that was Wagyu picanha. So the last thing I got was this thing. This is a A5, Japanese A5 Wagyu ribeye. This is the, arguably, the creme de la creme of all steak. One ribeye is one of the best cuts you can get from as a steak, and Japanese A5 Wagyu is the best steak you can get in the world. The Japanese have a very strict policy for how they raise their cattle, and they give it a rating, the cow a rating, depending on how fatted, how big it is, how long it's been raised, what the meat looks like after butchering. And A5 is the highest you can get. Yeah, like this thing. This steak came with its own certificate of authenticity, saying when it was born, what its serial number was, where it comes from, what its marbling score is, to basically. And so I bought half a ribeye loin of this for $1,700. So yeah, the thing better come with like a certificate of authenticity for that price. So, and that was. And half of it I dry aged myself because dry aging, if you're not familiar with that, you go to a steakhouse, dry aging is just a method to concentrate the flavor of the steak, and it basically raises the price of the steak by 50%. Maybe 30% if you're lucky. So I dry age the most expensive steak in the world because why the pump? You know. So that was my meat extravaganza birthday.
Yeah, and then the one where you used the flamethrower, the party which was the reason that you bought the flamethrower. Can you hear me? Sorry, the party that you got the flamethrower for?
Yes. Any question?
Hang on. Yeah.
Still getting that.
I just added it in the chat.
Okay, so yeah, the party. So actually, the flamethrower, I didn't get it for it. I got the flamethrower to re-roof about a third of my. Yeah, over the summer, the last summer. That was like in June, and then it happens to be a great way to sear a steak. If you have, I don't know, if you're sous videing a steak or your steak, you're trying to cook it in an oven and it just doesn't have a good crust. You just need a lot of heat all at once. And a flamethrower is a lot of heat all at once.
Yeah. So talk about the party.
The party?
Yeah, talk a bit more about it. Yeah.
The big one. So, yeah, that one. I held another party at this barbecue joint a couple blocks away from me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I still can't hear you. I just talked about that. Maybe you didn't get enough of it?
Yeah, the party where you first used the flamethrower. Talk about the party a little bit. That it was a fundraiser for New Sass.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
That one. That big one.
Yeah.
So that one, I did. Where do we stand from that one? That one, I got. This was last June, so
it was June 29th or June. No, yeah, June 29th or June 30th.
June 30th, yeah.
Because that was
end of June.
Because my nephew had just been born. My nephew was born that weekend.
So yeah, I don't think you were there. So, yeah, that's why you weren't there.
Right. So, only reason I would have missed it.
I held a fundraiser. I held a fundraiser for the theater company because we're supposed to raise like X amount of money every year for the company as a director on the board. I'm treasurer for all this work. So I figured, okay, what's something I can bring a lot of people to my house and they're going to like, and they will donate money. What can I do to get them there and they'll have a good time and want to open up wallets? And I thought, cook meat. What I do. So that one I did a lot more like workforce meat, as I like to call it. No filet mignon, no fancy stuff like this steak. I did pork shoulder, brisket. I did do some New York strip steaks just as like a little bit of a fancy thing. New York strip is like one of the better cuts that you can get. Not as good as ribeye in my opinion, but a better cut. It's like a premium steakhouse cut. Brisket and pork shoulder and ribs are all barbecue cuts. So I smoked some of them on my smokers, sous vide some of them, did like 6 racks of ribs, I think 3 briskets, 3 pork shoulders. Pork shoulder is real good in a sous vide because it's a very tough cut of meat, needs a lot of time and at low heat to break down the connective tissue and become fall apart tender, and sous vide is perfect for that, like amazing for that. So I just sous vide some pork shoulders for 3 days, and people came. Hell, I even asked them to bring gear just to cut down on my costs.
Yeah.
And they brought gear and still donated
nice.
to the theater company. Oh, and I forgot to talk about New Sass. It's a theater company that promotes women and marginalized genders in theater in DC. It's a small theater company run basically by one person. Board of directors, we're figureheads. Aubrey O'Connor, she's super awesome, puts on really great productions when we're able to actually do that, and hopefully, like fall season's obviously canceled, but if next spring happens, there will be one next spring. So
great.
That one, and I think we ended up raising, for the record, we raised like $1,600, I think, for
nice.
New Sass, or $1,400, $1,600 for awesome. New Sass. That's from great. The Extravaganza, all on cheap meats that I bought for like a
I wouldn't
brisket.
call New York strip cheap. It's just not expensive it's just not as expensive as, you know, the fancy meats that you sometimes buy.
Oh, it's pretty, but even as a per pound, like you can make a cheap cut really, really good with sous vide.
Right.
Smoke on a smoker too if you have the skill and the time. But sous vide is like you know, meat for dummies basically. So I'm a dummy. And,
I don't know that I would say that.
Yeah, you can make. But like a brisket, like I think I have another brisket in my freezer. That thing was like 15, 20 pounds, and it's like $40. So you do the math on that, right? $3, $4 a pound, as opposed to like a tenderloin, which trim with filet mignon, which is like 20 a pound. Ribeye, that's like 15 a pound.
Where do you get your meat? Where do you source your meat from?
Costco, even though in DC,
got it. If you go with the bigger one.
Yeah, I think they're starting to run out a little bit because of the shortages. But last time I was there, they still had a decent number of meats for sale. You can do ribs, sausages. They're out of chicken, oddly enough. It was a little scary. But but like brisket, you know, these are things most people don't know how to cook. So they're still rather in abundance. But for the people who don't know how to cook it, it's a great option to feed a lot of people. Like if you got a family or something like that, and I don't know, you want to like mail order yourself a sous vide and a vat to. I have a 20. This thing over here is a 24-gallon vat. So nice. I think all in, you can probably get away with $200 for my entire apparatus. If you want to go bare bones, Ziploc bags, and just the water circulator, that's the one thing you need. Water circulator is like $100, and
nice.
then Ziploc bag is Ziploc bags. So that's like your bare bones. For something huge like a brisket, you want all this stuff. So you're talking $200, mail order. I can even send over some links if you want, and yeah, you can feed a lot of people, or even just yourself for days and days and days. Like I have 3 roommates. One's a vegetarian, but the other 2 quite enjoy all the meat that I cook, and it's basically just meals for us.
That's awesome. See, we all miss your meat very much. Rick, I wanted to let you know we're actually going to start rolling out some delivery stuff. So if folks want to donate to this show to keep it happening, because food costs money, you can donate via PayPal at quintersectional@gmail.com. And that way I can do stuff. I'm going to be rolling out some subscriber levels where you can actually get some of the baked goods, some of the meals that we're making here. So yeah, if you're in the DC area, I should say, not all over the country. But yeah, so I'm excited. These mushrooms are just about done here. So I think it's probably time for us to sign off for a bit. We will be back at 3 p.m. when Nasser will be, or Nasser 3 p.m., right? Or 3:30? What time is the meat going to be ready to use the flamethrower? He can't hear me. What time, Nasser, can you hear me? Here.
PM works, yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. So we will see you guys back here at 3 p.m.
Yeah, it'll be about. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh.
Do you want to do 3 or 3:30?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Testing. Can you hear me? Yeah. Let me try this. Meat will be ready at.
All right, guys. So we will see you all back here at 3 p.m. If you're around, and hopefully talk to you soon. All right. Bye, guys.